So there was a little blues in the key of A, and well, with the purpose of bringing it to a higher level. And I already did a video in that style, and in the video description below you will find a link to that. But it's in a different key, the key of E, and this one is in the key of A. And things like timing, dynamics, well, coloring of the sound, feeling, those things are well, very important in playing blues. And I find some videos that I see of students, they lack something about that. And well, you can work on it, of course, and that's the purpose of this video. You will find also in the link below a link to the tab for this lesson and some more information about other stuff. So within the key, in the standard tuning, of course, here are my E's, and let's play the first two bars. So we're using a D7 shape moved up to the 9th fret, so we have an A7. And well, we can play those triplets in several different ways. And the first time I used all my fingers, allocating one finger for each string. So middle finger goes to the first string, the third finger goes to the first string, second finger to the second string, and index to the third string. And the advantage of playing like this is that you can subdivide every triplet, because every time when you hit the strings and you hit them the second time, you kill the sound of the previous hit. Then another way is brushing. You can do that with the index, or sometimes as I do with two fingers, middle finger for the first string and index for the second string, and hitting hard enough so that the third string rings also. And I don't want that open D string to ring, and if you brush upwards, there's a big chance that you're going to hit those, and that sounds awful. So what I do in that case, I simply move up my second finger, which frets the third string, so I mute that fourth string. So those are the ways of playing that first measure, and of course you can play around with dynamics. Starts softly and go crescendo, or the other way around, like that. The bass in pretty much all the song is what I call the country blues bass, open and then muted with the side of your hand, like that. And I sometimes color the sound by, this is flesh and nail, and this is only flesh, so you have difference in sound there too, if you're able to do that. And the way you trim your nail can be important. Everybody has different fingers, so that's something to experiment with. Of course you can use also a thumb pick, then you have a slightly stronger sound in this case. So that was the first measure. We started on the end of the 4th beat, hence that bass string, sort of that double bass. Slide back, and again a double bass. And then, and this you can, I played it slightly different. It's in the second bar, the first beat of the second bar is written out as a triplet. Every note has equal length, but I played like that. The first notes were ringing a little bit longer, so that's a choice you also can make. Then we slide to the 7th fret. You can do it the other way around too. Start with the 3rd string first, and here we bend the 5th string. And then you'll see in the tab a little X on the 4th beat of the 2nd measure, and it means hit the guitar or keep it silent, whatever. Sorry. So it's also, if you hit it, you're going to be on time. It will help you to keep time. So the 3rd measure is pretty much the same as the 1st measure, those triplets, which you have the choice of how to attack them. And then, and that's what I meant with the 1st beat of the 2nd measure, that we're going to move our D7 shape 1 fret up, so it's the 10th fret, and then move it back. And this is 1 beat. That 2nd beat is, those notes are played in 1 beat. Index, middle. So that 3rd and 4th measure again. 1, 2. See those two beats of let that ring for 2 beats, and then go to the D7 in bar 5. And here we have a rake. I'll play the measure first. So we have our D7 position with only the 2nd and the 3rd string fretted. And I do a thumb wrap for that 6th string 2nd fret. You can play it like this also. I mute the 2nd string, especially when playing that bass string on the 2nd fret 6th string, with my thumb. Has a more focused sound, I think. And you hit at the first part of every beat. And well, the first notes of that 5th bar, that in a way they belong to the previous bar. It's the 2nd half of that rest beat. So 1, 2. It's the end of that 4th beat where we have nothing sounding. And that upstroke is with the index finger. I bend it slightly like that, so it moves. It's not all stiff. It bends a bit like that. So. And if you do that away from the sound hole, it's a bit easier and gives a different sound. And we have that hammer, hammer, pull off. 2 pull-offs. Like that. So that's 1 beat. So again, those 5th and 6th bars. And I play that note, 3rd string, 2nd fret, the A, with my thumb. And that's a trill there, when we go to the E chord. And in the 7th bar we go to the long A, and I sometimes prefer to cover with my pinky 2 strings. If you're not able to do that, just do then the 1st string. Or don't play the third string. Then you get a minor chord, and that's not, well, right in this case. Notice the bass. Very strong and muted afterwards. And that, when we go to the E7, I really hit this. You see my index going, well, as far as I can get it, to get an advance of a jump. Notice the bass also. Very short, very strong. See my hand going like that. When there's not much happening, like there, then you're able to do that. You have time to really mute it there. With the thumb wrap to the first fret and the second fret for our D7 in the 9 bar. So in the 9 bar, that's a D7, E7. And this will be, I think, the hardest part of the song, to get it smoothly, a nice flow. So we have a pinch, and I do that with my middle finger and my thumb. And then I rake up the first 3 strings, first, second and third string with an E7. And immediately with a thumb, like that pull up. Again, that night measure. And then we have our turnaround. A little variation instead of, a bit less boring. And then our E7 with 2 hammer-ons. And then we go to the second measure, where we go. And here I made a little mistake in the tab. My apologies for that. You will see that with bar 12A, well, where's 12B and 12C? It's on the second page, the 4th line. I omitted those bars when I made the tab, so they are written at the end. So we play 12A, 12B, 12C, and then we go back to the first page for bar 13. So we have that 7th chord there. And you can play with dynamics here too. I'm using my index to play the first string and my middle finger to play the second string. And sometimes hard enough that that second string also rings a little bit. But not fully, not like that. But you hear it ringing, but softly. And here I pick the 2 strings and slide back. And that's our run in the D7 chord. And then hit it hard and pull off. Again, bar 13. No, sorry. 12C. Again, you can work with dynamics here. Start softly or hard, and go the other way around. Nice run, typically Lightning Hopkins, bar 13. And I do that with the pinky. So I keep my D7 chord shape more or less. And I play everything with the index except this one is played with the middle finger and then going back to the index. Bend, bend and not bend. And this one, the first time, the third fret of the 5th string, I'm going to play everything with the thumb then. And here dynamics is very important, I think. And also slightly in not only in volume but also in speed. So we're playing hard, especially da 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 da. And here it's the middle part that's a bit softer. When we go, then we are augmenting the volume and slightly the speed as well. And slowing down at the end. So after that, notice the muting. So like that. Also very well played delicately and with dynamics. Accenting the first note of the triplets. Notice the bass again. And those bends on the 8th string are really forceful and played really hard with the index. And I mute the 2nd and the 3rd string, and I also hit them so you get a bit of a percussive sound. Those two strings ring like that. And the last time we're doing. So the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 hits are like that, are even more or less, and the last one we're going up and down and then the open string. So rake upwards. And then we have after our 8 bending. You can choose to play that softly too. Anyway, this is the typical Mississippi blues, and I mean the song Mississippi Blues by Willie Brown. He uses that, something like that. And I just changed in 2 beats. It's not a triplet, but sorry. And these are middle, index, middle, and pinch, and all with the index, 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 and jump. Sliding to the 7th fret and really let it ring and, well, give it a vibrato. You know them. Also give it bending and vibrato, and I do that with 2 fingers because we have more power with 2 fingers than with 1 finger. Softly. Notice the difference in really sharp sound with the nail and softly with the flash. Well, I guess that's about it. Play around with it, fool around with it, let the ideas sink in, and have fun with it. Good luck.